Hottest drug in the world. I don't know if we should be excited or not about that. Ozempic. Man, everyone's talking about this. What was the last drug that everyone talked about like they talk about this one? Health Canada says they're working closely with manufacturers to reverse the shortage of Ozempic in this country. That's how hot the drug is. There's shortages. Medication is used to treat diabetes, has widely become popular for weight loss, and as a result, we are seeing shortages around the world of this drug. For those who need it most, there's some people that really, really need this drug. Now, pharmaceutical companies are urging pharmacists to limit the renewal of prescriptions to 30 days. Let's find out more with the one and only Dr. Joe Schwarcz, host of the Dr. Joe Show, Sundays at 3 p.m. Dr. Joe, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Elias.
So, you know what? How do you describe what is currently going on and the talk about this drug, Ozempic?
Well, it's not exactly a fad because the drug certainly does work for type 2 diabetes, and it also does cause weight loss. There's no question about that. But there are a number of issues that arise. One is that people are using this to try to lose 10, 15 pounds so that they can fit into that dress or those pants that, were tough to buckle up. But that's not what this drug is intended for. When it comes to weight loss, this is a very effective medication when you are very overweight. When you're talking about 40, 50, 60 pounds overweight, which is, of course, a risk factor for many diseases like heart disease, cancer, etc., then, of course, weight loss is critical and the drug can work very well. But this is not something that should be used to try to lose a few pounds. But, of course, people are badgering their doctors to get prescriptions for it, and it's not illegal to write a prescription for it. That's the doctor's judgment. But that is what is causing the shortage. And Ozempic, or semaglutide, which is the chemical name, is an excellent drug to treat type 2 diabetes. And unfortunately, because of the short supply, there are some people who need this drug who can't get it because others who don't really need this drug are getting it.
Yeah, and here's one thing that I heard, Dr. Joe. I heard, because as you said, it works. It does work. It works on the diabetes front. It works on the losing weight front. But I heard, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this, I heard that we don't actually know why it works on the weight loss front. Do we know what is happening inside the body to stop?
Yes, actually, this has been very well studied. And what semaglutide, the active ingredient, does, it mimics a hormone called glucagon-like peptide 1. And this is a hormone that is released in the intestine after eating, and it sends a message to the pancreas to release insulin, and also sends a message to the brain saying you've eaten enough. So what this drug does is mimics the effect of that naturally occurring hormone. So people do lose their appetite, and they will lose weight. There's no question about that. Obviously, there are questions about the long-term effect because this is a drug that would have to be taken forever. Studies have shown that as soon as someone stops taking Ozempic, the weight comes back. So there are questions that arise about the long-term effects because, of course, we don't know the long-term effects until the long-term has passed.
Yeah.
And so far, it's only been around for about 10 years, so we'll have to see. But the side effects that are normally seen, which are gastric side effects, you get nausea and constipation, diarrhea, and sometimes an extreme case, which is very rare, called gastric paralysis, where food doesn't go from the stomach into the intestine and unfortunately comes back up the other way, and you vomit. But that's rare. But, of course, with any drug, there are side effects, and the physicians have to consider this. And they have to evaluate the patient to see whether or not they need to lose significant weight, in which case the medication is properly indicated, but not for loss of, 5, 10, or 15 pounds.
We're with Dr. Joe Schwarcz from the McGill Office for Science and Society. He's the director of the office. We're talking about Ozempic. Dr. Joe, do you get worried when drugs end up having some type of, media life of their own? Like this seems to be one of those drugs that ends up just being a buzzword. Does that concern you when drugs reach that type of status?
Well, of course, because it drives people to clamor for the drug when they may not be the right candidates for it. Because anything that is made to look as if it were a miracle, has a tortuous path. There are no miracles in life. Mm-hmm. The last miracle was 1980 when the U.S. beat the Russians in hockey in Big Classic. Yeah. We've not seen anything since then. So, but, on the other hand, I don't want to suggest that this is not a very, very good drug. It is one of the best drugs that has recently been developed, and we've not had very good medications for weight control. So it is, in a sense, a breakthrough when it is properly used, and that's the word that has to be underlined. It has to be properly used under right conditions in the right person. But then there's also the financial aspect of this that needs to be considered, because this is a very expensive drug. It can be $1,000, $1,500 a month. And if all of a sudden insurance companies have to, pay for this, it's going to make for a very difficult situation. Or if Health Canada, Canadian governments have to pay for it, it's going to be a huge economic burden.
But it's interesting, though, Dr. Joe, right? Because if it does what people say and hope it does, well, then I guess long term it would stop other more serious things from happening,
course,
right?
This is something that needs to be evaluated, because obviously morbid obesity has consequences. It predisposes to heart disease, predisposes to cancer, predisposes to diabetes. So all of that has to be considered. And hopefully with the popularity of the drug, the cost will come down. But that's not going to happen very quickly, because this is not an easy drug to manufacture. And Novo Nordisk, the Danish company that produces it, is now gearing up, and they're building a whole new multi-billion-dollar facility to try to meet the demand. But that's not going to happen overnight. So the cost is going to stay high for quite some time. And that's another reason why it should only be used by people who really need to lose a great deal of weight for health benefits.
Well, I hope they don't start putting it in soft drinks or something like that. Dr. Joe?
I think the financial aspects are going to preclude that. And also, it doesn't work orally. Yeah. This thing has to be injected. There is an oral version that is used for type 2 diabetes, but that has not been shown to cause weight loss. It has to be injected, and which is a deterrent for some people, although it's a very easy injection with a very, very small needle. So it really is a breakthrough, because we've not had very good medications to control weight. But every medication has to be evaluated in terms of risk and benefit. And there's no free lunch here.
No free lunch.
There are side effects that have to be taken into consideration.
Listen, Dr. Joe, I'll leave you with the thought from the text line. And by the way, I think when you mentioned the fact that this drug, you want to get on this drug, be careful what you wish for, because you got to use it forever, right? Now, if you get on this, you got to use it forever. And I have a listener who says, why don't you guys promote exercise instead of drugs, making people more lazy? Listen, I just want to say I agree with that. People should be going down the exercise route and the diet route before they start to say, I sign up for a lifetime of injecting a drug.
Unfortunately, historically, although, eat less and exercise more has been our mantra, and if you really do it religiously, it can work, but also history tells us that for most people it doesn't. They will go on a diet and they'll lose weight in the short term, and it will come right back. This is something that has been proven over and over again. It doesn't matter what the diet is. It can be the Scarsdale diet, it can be keto diet, it can be whatever diet, over the short term, the weight goes off, but it comes back.
A full hour of Dr. Joe is headed your way this Sunday at 3 p.m. on the Dr. Joe Show. Dr. Joe, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.